G'day, Trooper Cody and Steve with a video in our police series, early policing, pre-1900, mid-1800s. And so of course he's not Trooper Cody, he's Police Horse Cody. And just a quick video here, because how Hollywood and the movies gets it so wrong. So in 1861 in South Australia, the direction was made that you couldn't be employed as a police officer, a foot constable or a mounted constable, which was the terminology at the time. You couldn't be employed if you were married. That was because the police commissioner at the time said that women interfered with the efficiency of a police officer, and therefore he didn't want to make it a blanket rule that you couldn't be married as a police officer. But he introduced a ratio where if you were a junior rank, it's flat out, you couldn't be married. But if you were of more senior rank, only 15%, so only 15 of every 100 corporals and sergeants and higher ranks could actually be married. So there are a lot of rules back then that Hollywood, I mean, the married thing might not be come across in a movie, but what is always misinterpreted in the movies, there have been a lot of movies where Brian Brown, great Australian actor, is playing a copper, usually an unsavoury copper, and when you see him out on patrol, he's got his police hat on, he's got his tunic. There's a couple of movies where he rides with his tunic undone because it's so hot. But that's because it's a movie and it has to show that he's a police officer. The reality is, the rules in those days were so strict that your uniform had to be immaculate. If you had a button missing, if you had your collar undone, you would get significant penalties, fined, because you had to always be immaculate. How can you have an immaculate uniform when you're going off on a 5-day patrol looking for a bush ranger? Well, you can't. And that's why this uniform was worn around the towns. It was worn out in the city, it was worn. But once you were going out on a patrol, you changed into civilian clothes, more suited, particularly, you're going out on horseback patrol, you're wearing clothes, civilian clothes, much more suited to getting dirty, getting filthy, sleeping on the ground, going through branches. So the next time you see a movie where Australian movie or New Zealand movie where you see the trooper riding through the scrub on patrol chasing a malefactor in uniform, it didn't actually happen like that. But that sort of, in a way, leads me to another video that I'm going to do, a series actually on Ned Kelly, and that's because Ned Kelly could occasionally use the excuse that he didn't know a person was a police officer because they weren't in uniform. And that's the truth, that they weren't in uniform. He damn well knew, but we'll cover that in those videos. Cheers, cobbers. Till next time. Thank you.